This is a video chart presentation of U.S. Auto Parts Network. It's a NASDAQ listed stock trading under ticker PRTS. You can see it's had a real nice climb since back here last August, September, when it was holding a base right around 95 cents. Real nice climb followed, then a pretty hefty consolidation before a move to the next high right here at 336. Stock is consolidated now for about a month, making a little type of a double bottom look to it and holding a support right around $2.75. So with a little bit of upward pressure that came in on Thursday to close at 290, up 4% for the day, on about average volume of 230,000 shares. This little roll off the bottom has us wanting to pay attention to this stock to end the week and going into next week to see if it's going to push through some resistance at $3 and go up here and challenge these recent highs. I can see that the MACD is retracing from the high. That's not that big of a deal. What we're going to look for is a hold over top of zero for another bullish cross to happen, to show that in the short term there's a shift in trend back towards bullishness, to support this idea of a longer term uptrend starting to happen again, since the stock price has been rising from these $2 lows. Now similarly, the slow stow, which is a gauge of momentum, has pulled back, holding right around 50. That's a pretty neutral reading, but again, the little bullish cross that just happened says pay attention to me, see if the momentum is swinging back in favor of the bulls as the stock comes off a support point. Now, I'm not getting a great deal from this money flow index. You can see the MFI 14 right around 44. We use 50 as a benchmark point between bullishness and bearishness. And this little climb right back around that 50 mark is pretty neutral, just as the stock price is trading near 14-day averages. So we're not getting a lot from the MFI at this point. Now, since rising from these lows, the RSI is looking pretty decent. See, generally speaking, holding over top of 50. With a little bit of a curl bouncing right off that 50 mark with the buying pressure that's come in. And in combination with the slow stow, just lends to the idea its momentum is starting to build again. So at this point, those hints are supporting the idea that this support level is going to stay intact. Now I'll go ahead and note this support at 275. You can see it's much more than just this recent area. It actually goes back several months as a resistance point. Classic TA says that once resistance is broken, it needs to hold as support. And that's essentially what's going on. Price per share did dip down this one day, touched the 50-day moving average, but pulled right back up before the close. So I think that 270, 275 mark is going to be pretty important, because if it falls through that and falls through this 50-day moving average, there's not a lot of support in sight again until back down near this $2 mark and closing at 290. That's just way too far away for a stop loss. It's someplace to pay attention to it should these levels fall, to see if it's going to bounce off of that point again. But for the intents and purposes of closing Thursday at 290, I'd have my eyes set much closer, because this is a pretty nice area of support based upon trading over the last 6 months or so. And it also goes along with the idea of this little double bottom. Some people could call this a flag pattern, but all semantics aside, I just look for this level to hold as support. Now, I want to note from a resistance standpoint, the $3 mark, just because of these old highs back here in November. That's a point to pay attention to as an old high in the overall uptrend of the chart. Stock price did push through it here briefly at the ending part of March, early part of April, but fell right back down to this support point. So I'll still consider this $3 mark an area of secondary resistance, because if it does take it out this time, especially on an increase in volume, I think the odds are pretty good it's going to run right through this 320 mark where it stalled a few weeks ago and challenge these old highs right up there around 336. So there's quite a few things going on right now. For me, it all starts with holding this support point, holding over top of the 50-day moving average, and seeing if volume wants to pick up a little bit to lend to the idea that it's going to blow through this resistance and continue this long-term upward trend. So those are the things that I'll be looking for in the PRTS chart. But as always, it's merely my interpretation. I'm not a financial consultant and strongly encourage you to do your own proper due diligence. Consult with a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Please visit the allpennystocks.com website to view the full disclaimer disclosure, and do not base any investment decisions upon any material found on the website and/or its video chart. No person employed by All Penny Stocks, registered investment advisor, or licensed broker-dealer. Thank you for watching. Trade smart.